I'm a 21-year-old male, Caucasian middle class. I was kidnapped a year ago for 12 days. Police finally rescued me, and the people who kidnapped me were set free some time ago. I have seen people being decapitated. I have been on a shooting and seen people hung on bridges. I'm a Mexican citizen, seeing his country being torn apart by the war on drugs. I have seen shootings, public executions, roadblocks, decapitations, and I have a drug dealer in my neighborhood. Ask me anything. What was it like being kidnapped? Easily the most horrible experience in my life. I was kidnapped on my way home from a nightclub. Three guys on a huge black pickup show up while we were entering our car. One of them grabbed my girlfriend and I kick him. The other guy walks to me and points a machine gun to me and orders me to calm down. I try to calm myself, and then another one punches me in the head and they simply take me to their car. I was then blindfolded, and I could feel us moving. I tried to keep track of your movements, kind of like trying to keep a GPS on my mind of where we were heading to. I was held on a pretty good house on a suburban area I have never been before. Treated like shit for those 12 days. Ate nothing but tortillas, except for one day in water, and I was held with another guy on a small 2x2. I think the room we had 2 pillows, and a couple of blankets along a pencil, and a small notebook to write stuff on. We defecated and peed there, and after that one of our captors would throw a bag, a couple of towels and soap, so we could clean up. We got free on the most movie-like manner. Idiots gave us a fork to eat some spaghetti. The second day, I owe my life to the FSM, and we used the metal on it to make a small hole on the wall. Just enough to fit a piece of paper. We then wrote messages on the towels they gave us, and threw them on the hole outside. Eventually a neighborhood kid saw the papers, and went to pick one up. Told his parents, and bam, we were free. However, we were very lucky. Most of these security houses are on normal neighborhood, and no one knows. And even if they do, most neighbors are too scared to call the police now. When did you see decapitation? How much ransom did your kidnappers ask for you? Did your family pay it? What do you do to avoid crime? Do you know anyone who was murdered? We were on the highway en route to Arizona to do some shopping, and we passed through a bunch of high-end cars parked on the side of the road, and we could see a bunch of people with a guy on their knees on the middle. We slowed down so we could see what was happening, and a guy with a chainsaw cut the poor guy's head. A shitload of blood. We accelerated to no end for like 400 kilometers until we reached Nogales, Arizona. What the fuck? There are several videos on the internet of people being executed. Also, people are decapitated with knives, being dismembered and thrown inside churches, people being hanged on penal bridges, heads of people appearing on City Hall, while the body is found on another government building nearby, calcinated people, etc. The dad of someone from my neighborhood went to La Sierra, the Sierra, to buy cattle. Ranching is a popular activity hobby business here, and he went missing for a week. They later found him calcinated, tortured and shot besides a cliff. They did all this to him and then threw him from the cliffs. Calcinated? Sorry, I recognize that English isn't your first language, of course, and you're doing well, just so you know, but I don't recognize this word at all. Could you possibly describe what you think it is? Maybe, castrated? Calcinated means burned to ashes, burned to dead. Why were you kidnapped? My dad is a successful businessman. I suppose they wanted money. They never got to actually send a message. First they make your parents wait while they crumble. When they are losing hope of finding you is when they ask for the money in return of their son. Are you afraid someone from the cartel will see this AMA, ask me anything thread, and seek you out to shut you up? No, I really doubt cartels know about Reddit, and even if they do, there were dozens and dozens of people kidnapped last year on my city. Did the police get involved? How did you get out? Multiple police forces, local, state, federal, raided the house searching for kidnapped people. We were woken up as they raided it early in the morning. They eventually got to our room and took us. What happened to your girlfriend? Nothing at all. We're still going strong equals P. Dude, what happened to your girlfriend during the kidnapping? When one of the guys grabbed her, I kicked him, and she ran with a friend of mine. Then they grabbed me and lifted me. She is fine. They didn't take my girlfriend, just me. My father is a rich businessman and they were after me. I met the other guy inside the house I was taken into. Why doesn't your father get you out of there, as he's a rich businessman? He's not rich. He's rich compared to most people in here. He says he's not willing to leave just yet. In his words, I was born, raised, educated, shot and married here. If I die somewhere, this will be where. He gave my mom and I the opportunity to leave, and neither of us took it. I assume you are aware that cartels have recently targeted people for posting criticism online. You might want to consider a new account after this, or at some time in the future you might post enough info to ID you. Nah, I'm pretty sure Reddit is safe, besides the fact that I haven't posted anything people don't know. The people that have been targeted use Twitter with their real names and posted what they were doing. I have posted nothing but my city and that I have money. As I told already, dozens and dozens of people have this profile here. It's not worth the effort to try to guess who I am, much less track me down some time to eventually figure it out. You speak English pretty well, but my question is, would you leave your job and home in Mexico, take your family and move to the United States illegally if you could? Also, is there any other option for Mexicans to find safety somewhere? Never. And especially illegally. I'm proud of my country and I do believe that this will be over in 20 years max, when young people now grow up and start taking important positions. Forgive me for kind of hijacking a previous question, but I was wondering how widespread the violence is. I am planning on getting married at a resort in the Mayan Riviera next summer, because it's cheaper than getting married where I live now, but you have me kind of worried about the state Mexico is in. My Spanish is horrible, so any info would be great. Not for you, as I told already, the people that are actually in danger are residents, not tourists. I just got back from a week in Puerto Vallarta, actually a little south near the pueblo of Mismaloya. We left the hotel and took public buses and walked around the town. There were a lot of Mexican nationals in our hotel. I am from US. Were we in more danger since the hotel did not have many US tourists? We didn't feel like it and had an awesome time. I love your country. Tourists are generally not in danger if you left the bus and walked on town. As long as you stayed on the touristic part of the town, then you are relatively safe. Just don't make yourself look like a gringo, assuming you are American, in front of some overconfident douches, and you should generally be fine. Are people born into the crime families and therefore become narcos, or are some recruited to join? If some do join, is it because no other options? What role do women play in the drug wars? Do wives of narcos ignore what goes on? Yes, it's like a family tradition. Your parents expect to continue your dad legacy. Some others, mostly the lower ranks of sicarios or hitman, join either voluntarily or forced at gunpoint, no other option. Women are used as trophies on the narco culture, and seeing quien tres más viejas, who has more bitches, is a culture thing. Among the youth, what is the general idea towards this problem? What do they think needs to be done to solve the corruption? What are the underlying issues that Mexican youth face that contribute to this war? Pretty much everyone hate it. However, Mexican society is highly divided. There are the see no transes no avances group. If you don't cheat you don't get better, and the normal citizens that are being affected. Fucking bichones in their culture is what is killing Mexico. We have songs that glorify killing policemen and innocent people, lyrics with rifles and bazooka in the neck, flying heads from those who we runs across. We are bloody, we are mad and crazy, we like to kill to hijack, we are the best, always on our caravan with my gang, well armed, armored and ready to kill. This is what is killing Mexico, this culture and way of thinking, that if you don't cheat you can't advance. What's wrong with Acapulco? In the 2000s, the drug war in Mexico has had a negative effect on tourism in Acapulco as rival drug traffickers fight each other for the Guerrero Coast route that brings drugs from South America, as well as soldiers that have been fighting the cartel since 2006. A major gun battle between 18 gunmen and soldiers took place in the summer of 2009 in the old Acapulco seaside area, lasting hours and killing 16 of the gunmen and 2 soldiers. This came after the swine flu outbreak earlier in the year nearly paralyzed the Mexican economy, forcing hotels to give discounts to bring tourists back. However, hotel occupancy for 2009 was down 5% from the year before. The death of Arturo Beltran Leyva in December 2009 resulted in infighting among different groups within the Beltran Leyva cartel. Gang violence continued to plague Acapulco through 2010 and into 2011, most notably with at least 15 dying in drug-related violence on March 13, 2010 and another 15 deaths on January 8, 2011. Among the first incidents dead were 6 members of the city police and the brother of an ex-mayor. In the second incident, the headless bodies of 15 young men were found dumped near the Plaza Senderos shopping center. On August 20, 2011, Mexican authorities reported that 5 headless bodies were found in Acapulco, 3 of which were placed in the city's main tourist area and 2 of which were cut into multiple pieces.